Everybody, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Best Self Weekly podcast. I'm joined here today with a very awesome special guest, Nicole. Nicole, what's going on?
Hello, thank you for having me, Hunter. I'm so excited to just be on here and share. I love all that you're doing. So let's
Thank you.
collab. Let's talk.
Thank you. Let's do it. Let's do it. And I mean, so the podcast is about just being the best version of yourself every single day. We talk health, entrepreneurship, spirituality, faith. It just depends on the guest and, guess depends on the mood. So, Nicole, you're an entrepreneur, you're coaching yoga, super into health. And let me try to get this intro right. So, you teach Pilates, you teach yoga. You have some experience in kickboxing as well. You're on the radio for 15 years. You're a mother of two. You're a wife. You are hosting a women's retreat here in April in Thailand, which is so
Yeah.
cool. You have a new program for women launching in April as well, right? And
Yes.
I don't
Teacher
know.
training.
Oh, a teacher training, is that what it is?
Sensual embodiment yoga teacher training. Yeah.
Cool. Awesome. Let's go. Well, Nicole, thanks for hopping on. It's kind of funny. One of the questions I randomly thought of, I wanted to ask you, if you were to host a yoga women's retreat anywhere in the world, where would it be? And now I just figured out you're going to host one in Thailand. Is Thailand the place that you'd want to host it in? Is there another place?
It's funny. It's actually one of my students she does tours there for like 16 years. She's speaks fluent Thai. She's lived there and she approached me this last year and said, I go there every year. I do adventure tours. So I'm taking them to the tigers and the elephants and jungles and we fly to three cities in in Thailand, Bangkok, Chiang Mai, and usually Phuket or Krabi, if I'm saying that right.
Mhm.
But she's like, and I just really want to incorporate like a daily yoga by the pool or by the beach. I'd love to like pair up with a yoga teacher. And I was her first yoga teacher and she approached me. So that's how Thailand came to be. And it's a dream. I'm so excited. It's all inclusive. It's going to be amazing. I'm from Florida. My thought was like, let's take everybody to the Florida Keys. Let's go to the Gulf of Mexico. Like, let's go hang out somewhere off the coast of Florida because that's where my territory is. But this is just bigger than I've even imagined. And I can't I'm so excited,
Wow.
especially with somebody who knows. And if you're going to go there once, why not hit like all these different cities? And it's all inclusive. All you pay for is your trip there and back, and we got you, you know. So,
Wow. That so
yeah.
so so people know. So for this retreat in Thailand, what does it look like? How long is it? And yeah, what does it look like? Like in the morning, you wake up, you do yoga in a certain place. Like, tell me more what this looks like.
Sorry. Yeah, so when we get to Thailand, we're going to be headed to Bangkok. We fly into Bangkok. We're going to be checking out rooftop bars. It's Thailand's biggest, busiest city. And then we're going to be doing some, 4 or 5 star hotels in each city. From there, we'll do a little bit of the cultural experience. And then we're going to Chiang Mai. We're going to be immersed in Thai cooking classes, Muay Thai. We're going to meet with a monk. We're going to be just
Wow.
really enjoying this. And it's a women's retreat too. So you're going to have that sacred sisterhood. We're going to have uh, morning yoga and Pilates practices, whatever comes. And then that connection in the evening where we get together and really connect through our day. So different journaling, meditation, somatics. But the cool thing is that if you want to sleep in and skip yoga, you can. If you want to hang by the pool all day and skip going to the monk temple, you can. It's completely whatever you want to do, but we want to have that offering of daily yoga and adventure. For me, I'm like, let's play, let's do the work. That's my favorite combo. I want to make everything fun and I want to make these women just feel free in their body. I want them to feel sensual and sexy and alive again. Just
Mm,
sometimes you need to step out of your busy life to get that. So
yeah.
I just want to offer that opportunity to like, dive into your body and dive into yourself and take that space with the yoga. And
Mm,
then let's go play. Let's
yeah.
explore.
That's so cool. I know Thailand has
Yeah.
this beautiful part where I think my sister went on her honeymoon there a couple years ago, and she stayed in this like cool hut over this clear water. And it looked beautiful. I'm sure like is that part of the retreat to do yoga near like cool, beautiful water?
100% for sure.
Yeah.
Because after we got Bangkok, Chiang Mai, then we'll be heading to like a beach. So, for example, Phuket or Krabi, it just depends on the vibe because we'll be doing all those in-country flights as well. And there's going to be really nice accommodations, usually by a pool, beach, mountains. We might be in a mountain doing yoga. So, it's every day there's going to be really immersive, cool stuff. So,
Oh, so
I'm,
there's mountains there too, like mountains, and there's
yeah.
also a lot of water. That's cool.
Yes, just beautiful. And there's so much we're doing Thai cooking classes too. Like there's so much to do there. And you
Mhm.
can get a lot of like bang for your buck in Thailand. So there's really so much you can do on like a really decent budget. I think this trip this kind of adventure would probably be like three times as much if you were going anywhere else, you know? So you're really getting incredible value too.
That's amazing. And then, so with Vegas yoga parties, that is that your company, right?
Yes, that's my personal business in Vegas. I've been doing that for many years. I mean, probably at least 15 years. I've been teaching pole dancing and cardio striptease was my jam. But since like the early 2000s, I've been teaching a lot of this. So a lot of women, we would do private pole dancing parties or we do sensual dance parties. And now I've just leaned more into private yoga, sexy lattes. That's my Pilates infusion class
Mm.
and we have a great time. So sometimes instead of going out and having all the drinks or going to brunch or doing something, the women are wanting to do something more connecting with friends. So we'll get together, we'll do some yoga, we'll play some music. Afterwards, we have a little women's circle and just taking a different mind body approach to having a birthday party, a graduation, a divorce party. I've done it's like just getting back to yourself, you know,
Yeah, yeah.
and everybody benefits. It's more than these birthday girls want to like they want all their friends to have something really special to leave with.
Right. Yeah.
So,
And that just makes me think of the
yeah.
importance of community, right? And the importance of having a like-minded community and being involved in that. I mean, it makes the biggest difference. It doesn't matter if it's, I don't know, learning how to sell, learning how to grow your business, or even just working out, like that community is so important. And when I'm involved in like my communities, it just inspires me to be a little bit better. And I feel like I always learn something new from a different person's like perspective, whether it's, I'm sure like working out when I'm in a workout with some of my good like-minded friends, they'll show me a new workout. I'm like, dang, I never even thought of that. Like that looked kind of dumb, but it actually really works my back. Like that happened today. Is that the kind of same in the yoga community? Like you get to learn because there's so many stretches, right? So many poses. I'm sure like your students can learn so many different ways to stretch a certain part, right?
Yeah. Yeah. And I think, even when you're a yoga teacher, and I'm sure even as you as a personal trainer and a health coach, you're still learning so much from your people because just because they're not certified in something doesn't mean they don't have their own bag of tricks and their own skills. And to bring those together, you're like, oh, so I'm always learning something from them all.
Yeah.
And I really specialize in sensual yoga and I think it can sound a little like, oh, what is that? But to me it's just finding that connection to yourself and just really exploring a different playful movement. For me being a dancer my whole life. I really hurt my back in like 2000. I did pole dancing for a long time and I think it took a toll and I found myself not able to move. I couldn't pick up weights, I couldn't jump, I couldn't do all the fun things I wanted and to me movement is my medicine. So I got really frustrated and when all the yoga studios, all the hot yoga studios shut down in Vegas, I was left to my own devices. So I just started doing like YouTube yoga and not relying on heat to get me into my body and to drop into that. I always wanted a really physical, intense practice. And everything shifted when I hurt myself and started doing my own practices at home. And I started realizing, wow, your breath has so much power. And to move slowly and intentional has so much power. And I was able to really focus in on my body and notice where this pain is coming from and different ways I could move and stretch my body to feel it. And I was like, that's it. I'm taking my yoga teacher training. After 20 years of like doing yoga, I was like, I want to do it because I wanted that strong foundation of anatomy and to truly just to heal myself. And in the end, I've ended up just really understanding when people have pain in their body, different movements and things we can do.
Right.
So to me, that's sensual yoga, really tuning into your body without devices or you just using your breath and gentle movement. And to feel good in your body, to feel sexy in your body again. Because I'll tell you what, after being a dancer and then being like, I can't move my hips the same, I can't move my back the same, I flip my hair and I'm like, oh, my back, like I felt,
Yeah.
I didn't feel sexy. It didn't feel cool anymore. I didn't feel like myself. So when I found that movement again that I felt alive, I was like, oof, I'm feeling sensual again. And we're doing it slow through yoga.
Right. No, and
So
I I wanted to ask you this because okay, so I like to listen to a lot of podcasts, and the
me
man
too.
who kind of I guess created or really backs up like the art of like rolling out on a lacrosse ball, like if you have a tight muscle, like he's known for kind of finding being one of the founders of that, I guess so to say. He says that every person should spend 30 minutes a day on the ground, and that can even be sitting in crisscross applesauce. Like it doesn't matter if you work a desk job all day, if you're already on your feet, like you should be specifically on the ground like 30 minutes a day doing some type of mobility, stretching, but just like on the ground. And I wanted to ask you because from a male's perspective, like it's super easy to just like want to lift heavy in the gym, right? Just like go to the gym, lift heavy and just try to get big, right? And but I noticed I feel from my perspective, I feel like the stretching, mobility, flexibility, that type of stuff, that community is like growing. Like I feel like I see more males doing yoga, more males stretching. Is the yoga community for men, is that growing as well? As like
Oh, yeah.
yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I think so too. I teach out here locally at UFC, UFC Fit.
Gym, UFC.
So at the gym. So I'm seeing a lot more men come in because these guys are fighters. They're lifting really heavy. They're really strong. And then they come into yoga and they're like, oh my gosh, And I'm like, this is definitely, it's all a balance, right? It's a cross training of like that you got all that contracting, right? And then you need the lengthening is right as well. You need to you're contracting all these muscles, but you need to give them a time to stretch out too. So, and I think that's the same with women when we get too into like, oh, I just want to do yoga and I just want to stretch and weights that are going to make me bulky. One thing I've learned in my 40s is that as you do weights are going to change your body, and we need that to get ourselves stronger. So just as much as the men need the yoga, the stretching, the mobility, the girls need to add a little bit of weights too. And that's what I'm trying to do. I'm still, it's not my favorite thing. It's not how I feel like, I guess, because it's more grounded and you have to be in this good form and you can't be all playful and wild like I want to be. But it's so beneficial and I notice the difference. So yeah, like the
Yeah.
boys and the girls, we need to like integrate all of it.
Yeah, no, I totally get that. And I also heard this other thing. Like if you truly are fit, I feel like you can do a little bit of everything, right? That includes being flexible, doing yoga. That includes doing a high hit workout with a bunch of burpees. A CrossFit thing includes like lifting heavy, includes being able to run a few miles. And a lot of people think they're just like perfectly fit, but it's like, okay, step into a yoga room and see what happens. And I'm not trying to be all talk. I've actually been trying to apply that. Like lately, I've been going to like the all turf part of the gym, third floor, and just like, I don't know, pushing the sled. I've been trying to do like hip mobility, rolling out. I need to pull up to one of your yoga classes for sure.
Cool.
But I mean, I feel like you're so right. You need a balance of something. Like the women also need some weights and the men also need some yoga. Like, come on.
Mhm.
But what are the benefits of yoga? Like, what are the main, I guess, physical benefits of yoga? Is it like injury prevention? What is it?
Yeah.
What?
I can I mean, I can say for me when because like I said before, I hurt myself and I felt pain in my body that I needed to it was all about I want to keep a hot snatched bod. That was where my mentality was. Like anybody in the fitness industry. Now it's just about I want to feel good. I want to feel good in my body. And if I treat it right, everything else will fall into place, I believe. But I remember when I was working out with that intensity, I would go to yoga on the days when I was like, I feel stressed. I feel all over the place. I need a reset and I need to reconnect. Like that was always my mentality, even though it was a more intense Bikram hot yoga. That was kind of my foundation. I knew that after that class, I felt like, okay, it's a reset. Maybe I was eating like crap or I was drinking or whatever was going on in my life at the time. Yoga was kind of that something to come back to. And now it's where I start. It's always my foundation. Like I get up, I do yoga every day, whether it's 10 minutes on my mat, whether I'm doing a YouTube video, taking a class, like I do yoga every day, whether to complement my weights or my Pilates. So I kind of move through that. But it is there's something about you come for the stretch and you leave with like some kind of mental clarity because it allows you to it's movement meditation. It's meditation for people who don't like to sit down and like I'm still not the best at like sitting down and just meditating. I need like insight timer, but you truly have to check out of your mind and into your body because you're like, is my alignment good? And I'm just cueing you to breathe. Yoga's a breath workout, and that breath work will take you places. So you
Wow.
don't even realize you're getting all that powerful stuff for your mind.
Yeah.
Um, and the benefits for your body are unbelievable,
Right. I'm
of
just
course.
thinking from hearing what you're saying, like what is involved in yoga. It's a lot of breathing, like breath work. It's like a type of, I don't know, meditation,
For
flexibility,
sure.
stability, and it's a workout. I hear so many like super fit men talking about how yoga kicks their butt and they, go to all these classes. And I'm like, I feel like if you see someone like a male that's truly fit, like they are involved in yoga. Like I don't know, I just feel like if they're truly fit, they're involved a little bit in yoga, involved a little bit in like I don't know, like CrossFit or hit workouts, like not just lifting, you know?
Right. Chris Hemsworth, right? I don't know. I'm sure you followed. He has like, it was Chris Hemsworth. Hello, it's Thor, but like he said that he really focuses on mobility workouts. So he's all about that building strength with that grounding because weights is very grounded, right? Weights is very grounded. You need to be aligned. You need your posture on. You're not jumping and bouncing. You're not doing all these crazy things where mobility workout you're really getting those lateral jumps and you're doing all that stuff you do in your natural life. So I think that pair is really good. So even if you're not into yoga, I think finding some really good mobility workouts, I think that could be like a little gateway into yoga. Like okay, because it is like dynamic stretching, dynamic plyometrics and stuff. So all of that could be a nice little that might be your move to jump into like okay, we're doing a little mobility stuff because they're going to get you in that stretching as well. It's just more dynamic versus holding it and breathing. And you're like all in your head. You're like, oh, just the struggle, the mental workout when you're trying to sit in a stretch and breathe for a minute is beyond. So
Yeah.
it's, yeah. But I thought of that too. I was like, oh man, Thor, that's what he's into. He said mobility, and that started even getting me thinking more about mobility and not just dance or not just weights because I don't like weights. I need something more playful. So that's kind of my gateway to weights is
Right.
mobility stuff, like hit mobility with 10 pounds or something.
Yeah, it's so good to mix that in. And I mean, I feel like Joe Rogan, whether it was a year or two ago, really had the back of yoga and like said how yoga kicks his butt. Like every time he goes and like it'll kick his butt. So if Joe Rogan says something, it usually goes viral. So
Yeah.
it's cool. I couldn't agree more. I definitely want to try to do more yoga. I'm slowly easing
Yeah. Well,
mobility.
Well, yeah, and you're very fit and you understand the weight room and all that grounding and all that strength. So yeah, a little bit of playful stuff. And I do know a fun way you can like get into that a little more too. I was telling you I do date night yoga. So something playful you
Love
and
that.
your lady can do together. It's intimate, it's connecting, it's playfully charged, but you're giving each other a lot of partner stretches, and that could be something cool. There's another little gateway into yoga for you as
Oh,
well.
yeah, we always talk about that. So we've been married for a year and a half, and
Oh,
And we,
congratulations.
thank you. And we've known each other for 2 years. We got married after 6 months. We both just knew. And the first part of our marriage or relationship, we've always Friday night done a date night for the most part and just went out to eat dinner. But then recently, a couple months ago, we're like let's make date night more fun. How can we do that? And we just moved to a different part of Summerlin and we saw this place where it was like a salt cave and then there's like the places that have the machines that I can't think of cryotherapy. And
Mhm.
then we're like having these ideas of going to mix up date night like every other week to going out and doing an activity. And like there's also like going out and like painting a sign. I think there's a place called like Vino, like wine, like Vino, and I don't know, you can paint. But
Yeah.
I think that's a brilliant idea that you do date night because date night doesn't just have to be sitting out going on a dinner, like it's great to do that, but you should like you and your partner should like encourage each other to be the best versions of yourself. And I feel like that's through health. Like you said, like movement is medicine. I love that. That's a good saying
Yeah.
for
Yeah,
sure.
I probably heard that, but but
Yeah,
yeah, it makes sense, right?
yeah.
That's your foundation. You're into health and you take care of your body and your mind and it's all connected. And to have a beautiful night with your partner, it's dinner and a movie, maybe some drinks and stuff. But sometimes I wake up after eating out and having drinks and I feel like, ugh, I want to wake up and feel alive. I want to be like, wow, we did this incredible like movement practice together. Now I'm feeling more touchy-feely with you. We connected on a different level. So
Mhm.
even playfully, that like a wine and paint or going to the salt caves, doing these mind body experiences together, that's a whole nother level. And I think it's kind of new still. People are just like, well, I guess we'll go to Top Golf or we'll go to eat some food. But what about cooking some food, something super healthy together, and then maybe like eating it off each other's bodies, like doing more of these things that are very somatic and very connecting and touchy-feely. I think that's where it's at. Enjoying a meal is one thing. Have you heard of this dining in the dark out here?
No, is it you
The,
eat food in the dark?
I haven't been yet, but a friend of mine, we were talking about it, and she said it was a really cool sensory experience. You're truly in the dark, and you can like touch hands at the table, but really you're having this sensory experience of like eating in the dark. And so that's on my list for my next date night. I'll have to share that with you too.
Interesting.
But
I have to look it up. It's here in Vegas?
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. But like breaking those stereotypes of what a connecting date night can look like. It's kind of like my Vegas yoga parties. It's breaking like, are we just going to do your typical brunch or we're going to do parties and drinks and no, let's wake up and feel so good and we all walked away with something, you
Mm,
know?
yeah. And then
So yeah.
for sure, Nicole, do you still do like hot yoga, teach hot yoga, or are you mainly focused on regular, like room temperature?
Yeah, I don't teach hot yoga. I would. I just currently I've cut my classes down a lot to avoid burnout and give myself more space to practice. And I have a lot of private clients, a lot of people with pain in their body, uh like full spinal fusion, double knee replacement. Like I work with a lot of people that have so much trauma in their body and kind of recovering because I have a really nice pace to my class where I'm making sure everybody feels good. But I love hot yoga. Hot yoga is when I go and I get my butt kicked. I still take hot yoga and I believe in it, but I was only doing hot yoga. I'd go to a regular yoga class and I'd be like, oh, this is boring. And I'm distracted and looking all over.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, isn't it worth my time? And the shavasana is at the end of class where you lay there on your mat for like sometimes 2 to 10 minutes. It just depends. I would get up and go. I'm like, I ain't got time for this. I gotta go.
Yeah.
But it's one of the most powerful moments of class. And I'm like, if you have to go, go. But please stay and just feel the benefits of how much stillness can calm and soothe your nervous system and just
Mhm.
being. So it's definitely been a journey, but
Yeah. What was the mental shift that took place, right? Because you said originally you didn't want to sit there at the end of the class. Like you thought the regular classes, I guess, were kind of boring, like not that beneficial versus like maybe an intense hot yoga. But what was the switch that you made to make you like really enjoy those regular classes?
I think truly when I hurt my back. I mean, I hurt my back so bad. I was waking up in the middle of the night and just like a cough or something and I was like, "Oh my, what's happening?" And this was at 40 and I was like, "I am just dying inside." And I just had to like find something and I was like, "Okay, we're going to lift weights today. We're going to do some hot Pilates and hit." And I was just like dead. I couldn't do it. So just
Wow.
starting to slowly move and breathe. I realized the breathing helped calm my nervous system when you have acute pain in your body. It helped to soothe the pain. I was like, okay, so that's what shifted for me, honestly, was just I hurt myself so bad I had to kind of start over. And it was the best entry for me, you
Wow.
know.
Okay.
And
Well,
so I hope it doesn't take that for anybody, but you know,
wow. Well,
um,
you
it
know,
takes a lot to slow down.
Yeah, seriously. I feel like you have to like slow down to go fast, right? I love that saying. Or like Rome wasn't
Yeah.
built in one day. You know, if you do the small things, give it time, keep doing them, and then with time it'll add up. And it's interesting because I feel like almost everybody experiences some type of back pain. It seems like you definitely had like more of a serious one compared to everyone else. But
Yeah.
since everybody has back pain and yoga helps with
Mhm.
back pain, that is a reason why you should do yoga, simply
So
put.
much.
Um,
Yeah.
what I get, I wanted to ask you this too. What are your like top three yoga poses for beginners?
I think let's see, yoga poses for beginners. I think doing stuff that feels comfortable and you don't feel too, sometimes being on your hands and knees and doing the cat cow, you're arching and it can feel like a little like, whoa, I'm out here in the streets. I feel a little vulnerable doing this. Maybe comfortable stuff on your back, maybe like on your back doing a figure four and hugging your knee into your chest and just breathing into it. And the trick is 3 to 5 breaths, right? 5 breaths is a little longer, but just taking 3 deep inhale, exhale, like just counting to three and then switching. But I think things on your back when you're just laying there, and that's kind of good for anybody who, even if they are experiencing back pain, getting down on your back. Almost everybody can feel comfortable doing that. Legs up the wall is lovely. It's just laying on your back and sticking your feet up the wall and let gravity just be there for a moment, because you don't have to be doing a handstand to have the benefits of an inversion where we get the blood flow rushing back down through the body.
Yeah.
So I love doing that with especially my seniors. I'm like, we don't have to do handstands out here. Okay, let's get the blood flow going. So just allowing the feet up in the air. Um, and maybe some child's pose. That's always a really comforting one when your back is hurting too. Just getting down in your hands and knees, stretching your arms forward, and your knees can be together if your back is sore, so it rounds your spine, and your knees can be like apart out to the side if you're feeling your hips are a little achy and you want to open your hips. So there's little tweaks you can do for everything to really um, get in there. There's all these little micro movements. I got really fascinated with how to feel good in your body and understanding the movement. That
Wow.
was, like I said, that's why I got the yoga teacher training, was just to learn the anatomy truly.
That's so cool. That's so cool.
Yeah.
It's fascinating to learn all these like little tweaks that can make a huge difference. Would you say that there's more mental benefits to yoga than physical? Is it mainly like a mental benefit type of,
Yeah.
because that's like I'm reading this book right now and it's saying how most of back pain is like a mental thing tied into trauma. Like I don't know if that's true or not. I'm trying to learn about it, but can see where the author's coming from. And it seems like yoga is something that energetically, like you can make it, like spiritual, like you send out good vibrations, just attract good energy. And if you keep doing it, like with time, you can like manifest and heal and overcome stuff. Is kind of what I'm thinking. Is that true?
Yeah. I mean, I believe that because I've felt that, I woke up to where I couldn't move or I couldn't bend over. And honestly, that's how I live in my body. I am so, and like I'm in chronic pain every day. I have like nerve damage, I think. I'm still trying to explore what's happening here, but I know after I get on my mat for even just 10 minutes and I breathe and I lean into the stretches that I need, I have a really good foundation, so I know some safe stuff. But afterwards, I feel like $1,000,000. And when I add on that weights and start engaging my core to also support my spine, when I do, that's where the Pilates comes in, and then lifting heavy weights, like keeping your glutes strong. Those are your glutes are going to support your back as well. So keeping your glutes strong, keeping your core strong. I would say those are two of the biggest things to help. But honestly, it's the breathing, the slowing down, focusing on your breath. It calms your nervous system. It really, really calms your nervous system. And when you're in like this pain and you're just kind of like, oh, every move is really tight and tense, you're holding your breath. So when you're able to really just breathe slowly in and out, it does something for your nervous system that's like, okay, we're moving now. We're feeling the pain is still there. It's still there, but I'm able to just like kind of cruise through it a little better. And that's what I realized. If I can't get rid of it, I'm going to have to just be with it.
Right.
We're gonna have to get along.
Right. Yeah. So most of it is. just like very deep, slow breathing to calm your
Yeah,
nervous system.
100%.
It's a lot of breath
Yeah.
work. I'm learning this a lot of breath work. I've noticed there's like a
Yeah.
lot of, breath work coaches too. As I keep
Mhm.
meeting more entrepreneurs, I'm like, holy crap, like breath work is very important, you know? The way you breathe
Yeah.
is like everything. I had no idea.
Have
But
you
to help,
felt like pain? Have you hurt your back or anything?
oh yeah, so I got like totally hooked like to doing ultra marathons, and that's anything above a 26.2 regular marathon,
Wow.
and I am screwed up. So I'm really focusing on physical therapy, ice baths, hot showers, and sauna. So I've had some tests done where I've had like arthrograms in my hips where they shoot the dye in you. It's really scary because they get close to that like I don't know what it's called, like the big nerve when they shoot the dye. It's like anyways,
Oh.
some type of special MRI, and I have glute tendinosis,
Mhm.
couple tears
Tight
in my
hamstrings. Your
yeah,
hamstrings are really fired up. Okay.
yeah.
I'm
So
familiar with all of that.
and then tears in both of my hip labrums. So it's it's like a lot. So I'm really
Oh.
focusing on healing up. I've done some PRP shots, gonna do some more too. I'm like a lot of doctors were telling me to get surgery and stuff. I'm like, no way, ain't no way. I'm only 24 years old. So
Mhm.
I really believe in, stretching mobility and yoga and that type of stuff. Like I feel like our bodies can really heal itself,
Mhm.
heal themselves, you know?
Yeah.
But
No, even through diet and stuff too. And I understand what, and I think it's a nice shift probably where you're exploring like, okay, what are some alternatives I can do? Because when somebody says, oh, you need surgery for this, that's the last thing you want to do. I mean, it has its benefits for, different cases, but if you can try other things first, and when you're dealing with pain in your body, that's when you want to start exploring. I want to stay strong. I love to lift. It makes me feel powerful and strong, right? But
Mhm.
that's what happened to me. I was like, oh, I want to pole dance. I want to do all this dancing, but I can't do that right now. So, what are some other things I could do to ease back into that, And I have got my pole dancing on the last couple of years, but it's different. But that's okay because I'm coming from a different foundation.
Yeah. I had no idea that like as a young man, I had no idea that there was such thing as like pole dancing, and it's a thing a lot of like women do together. Like I had no
Yeah.
idea. I had no idea, and then I started talking to entrepreneurs, writing articles, and I started learning. It's very interesting like to learn about different types of things. But I wanted to also ask you, Nicole, you have two children, you're married, you're teaching a ton. You also have your own time to do your own type of yoga and then eat healthy. Like, how the heck do you have time to do all that? Like, and you're an entrepreneur, have your business. Like,
Oh,
is there a secret? Like, how do you do it? Does it come down to managing your time? Like, tell me how you do it, because I want to have kids
I
soon.
yeah, yeah. Okay. So I will say kids will shift your life in a totally different direction, but I think they remind you, like today when we were doing the podcast, I shared, my daughter, she's homesick today. She's chilling, she's got some soup, she's watching TV right now. Um, but there's also that balance of like I still have work to do, I have commitments to do, but I have to be there for my daughter. So being able to shift your priorities when they're needed. And, if it was really bad and I'd say, hey, I just can't do it today, then that's what I would have to do because my family always comes first. But also, if it's manageable, you can do it. But what I say, even I say this, I like to say this in classes, right? Because we're always thinking of balance, like, oh, how do I balance it all? It's like, well, you can't be focused on your hot bod, on making your relationship the best it can be, on being the best mother, on being the best teacher. You have to lean into what needs your attention the most at the moment, right? And that's how you create the balance. Like maybe on date night on Friday, it's like my husband needs my attention. Our relationship needs all that focus. And maybe I had 100 little projects I was working on for my career, but that's going to have to go to the side because what needs my focus and attention at the moment is my relationship. Or, today I have a lot of things I need to do around the house, but my daughter needs me. She needs my attention. So those little projects and things are going to have to wait, and being okay with that. Being okay, oh, I got a deadline for this and this, but being okay with letting some things go when something else needs your attention. And that's taken me a long time to, like, oh, I'm off my schedule, I'm off my to-do list today. Like, how am I gonna, I failed today. No, it's just allowing being having a plan, but just going with the flow,
Having a plan.
leaning into what needs it the most.
Yeah, like what needs your attention the most. I like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, like if you're trying to get back into working out and you're like, today's my lift day, but I'm feeling so much pain in my hips or whatever it is. Today's not a lift day. Maybe I need my yoga today. Maybe I need, same thing with your movement practices or
Yeah.
whatever it might be.
I feel like it's really important, you know, to listen to our intuitions. They can really lead and guide us to help us really know what we need to give our attention to. But I don't feel like it's that complicated. I think we all know like what we have to give our attention to, you know?
Yeah. Yeah.
But I don't know. I'm really big on trying to follow, my intuition. I think we're all blessed if you want to call it like the Holy Spirit of God or your conscience or I don't know, just your intuition. I think we all have this gift. And if we can just take care of our minds and our bodies, I feel like our ability to listen to that intuition will increase, you know?
For
Just think of
sure.
it this way, like if you're on your phone, you have some free time and you just scroll on your phone and you just eat like crap, like your intuition is not going to be as strong versus those 2 hours, you try to be a good mother and you cook a healthy meal and you go do 15 minutes of yoga and I don't know, take an ice bath. Like your intuition you can learn to grow it, I feel like.
Yeah, it's just being intentional, right? Being intentional and really tuning in. If you're when you're just scrolling, eating a bag of chips, you got a bag of chips, or you're scrolling, you probably got the TV going. Who knows what's going on? Like you're very disembodied. You're not connected to yourself. You're
Yeah.
just you're just doing, and that's easy to do. We all do that, right? But when you really set intentions and you want to be intentional about things, that's when you're really moving from within, whatever is important to you at the moment, just
100%.
because I think you can always make a plan for the next day. I like to plan daily. Going back to like, how do you keep on track? For me, it's like timers. I'll be like, okay, I have three big things I want to get done. I will timers going off on my phone like crazy.
Me too. Me too. And then when I'm around new people, they're like, why do you have that timer on? Or like if I just randomly stop it.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
do.
I do too. Because I'll get so immersed. I could clean this house for 2 hours, but I'm like, no, 20 minutes, boom. And when I'm done, I'm like, okay, I do need 10 more minutes. I'll put 10 more minutes, but I need to shift gears. And I have trouble shifting gears on my own. And what I learned is like if I'll have some solid time every morning at 6 a.m., that's my movement practice, right? But
Right.
my body has naturally become in tune with that timing and that action. So it doesn't even really need to be a timer anymore, but it is. So when it comes to these things that I'm not used to, like, oh, I need to sit down and write my blog post. I have YouTube videos that I share my practices on as well.
Cool.
Like I'll be like, you need to do your YouTube blog post today, and that's at 2 o'clock or whatever. So it stops me, makes me sit down and focus. And
Yeah.
then at 3 o'clock, I'm like, go pick up the kids. You got things to do. So
Right.
timers are a big time management tool for me. It's
Me
okay to have little things.
too. Like if you look at my phone right now, there's like a timer that was stopped early, like right there.
Ah, oh.
I do this thing. I don't know. I do this thing where it's like, if there's a task and I don't want to do it at all, I'll just be like, all right, Hunter, you're gonna do this for 3 minutes, just a 3 minute timer. And then most of the time, it's like once I start doing it, I'm like, I'm already in the flow. Like, all right, screw this, turn the timer off. Like, I'm just gonna like keep doing
Yeah.
it, however long it takes. But I like
Yeah.
to set like 3 minute timers and mentally tell myself, like, you can at least do this for 3 minutes. Kind of adds
That's
up.
pretty good. Because you're like, what can I do for 3 minutes? But when these projects probably take a lot longer, but just to like, what's a 3 minute your goal? You're like, if I do this for 3 minutes, I've done it. What kind of goal would that be? I love this.
Yeah, I feel like it's mostly for like small healthy habits. Like I'm gonna refill my water bottle from, and then sit
Yeah.
back down, or I'm gonna drink the rest of my water to try to hit my water goal, or
Yeah.
prepare a quick little snack, stuff like that, or
I
log
love it.
nutrition on the phone.
No, that's so smart. No, I love that. I think that is a huge key to success. And then you're like, okay, well, I'm just not going to do that. I'll put it for tomorrow. I'm like, I did not have time for this blog post today at 2 o'clock, but I will tomorrow. So I'm going to change it to tomorrow and we're going to try it again.
Yeah,
So, going with the flow, leading into how your day shifted.
yeah, go with the flow, be adaptable,
Mhm.
adaptability, follow your intuition. I like that.
Yeah.
I also
Yeah.
believe that too, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, Nicole, I mean, is there anything else you want to add about yoga? I wish I knew more and experienced more about yoga, but is there anything else that we haven't covered on like yoga that is huge?
Um, I think it just has a lot of like you look at yoga and you're like, oh, look at all these people in these weird contorted positions. I can't do every yoga pose and I probably never will because not all of our bodies are meant to do that. But what it is it's just a fun movement practice. It's a way to feel free in your body. It's a way to reconnect with your mind. It's a way to calm your nervous system. It's a way to just sometimes there's so much going on in your head and you don't have time to connect with that intuition. You wake up and you go. You just wake up and you're on autopilot. Oh, gotta do this and this. My timer's off. I gotta fill my water bottle. Just whatever's on your plate, you just go. But the intuition is this quiet little voice in your mind, and it is so quiet. It doesn't even speak. It's almost like a feeling. And I feel like yoga gives you that chance to like reconnect because you are so in your body, you're moving through postures, you're moving through stretches, but you're also connecting with your breath. And there's some magic in yoga. It's just kind of unexplainable. It's why it's a very spiritual practice for people. It's my parents are very spiritual. They are actually Southern Baptists. It's not something I personally practice, but I do have spirituality and I do have faith. And I feel like when we say in yoga setting an intention, right? You're setting these like, okay, I'm thinking of somebody, I want to give my energy to them in this class. It's also like prayer. So
Yeah.
I think I tried to like say it to my mom that way. I'm like, well, mom, setting an intention is almost like sending a prayer. You're really speaking out what you want. You're thinking about it. You're putting intention behind it. And so I think it can have that kind of same effect.
Mhm.
So, and even if you're not into any of that, it's still a really incredible tool to clear your mind and just reconnect with what's important to you.
Yeah,
It's it's incredible. I would encourage anybody, especially if you're in Vegas, come join a class. You can follow me anywhere on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube. I'm the
yeah.
same everywhere. Nicole Cherry, Las Vegas. And I'd love to treat you and your wife to a date night yoga or even just a playful yoga class.
We're gonna do it. We're gonna pull up.
Yeah.
We're gonna get some yoga in, and
Yeah.
I'm gonna start this thing up. What I've learned about yoga in this call, Nicole, is I feel like there's just a power in being present, right? Like in today's world, there's a million to-do tasks to do, so many areas of life, so many things, and you can really stress yourself out. But what I've learned about yoga so far is it requires you to be present. It requires you to be in the now. And I think that's so important. We all need hobbies, we need things to do, activities that just like help us be present. And I feel like yoga is definitely one of the most, I don't know what to say, the most important, maybe one of the most important things that you could do that requires you to be present because you have to breathe, work on stabilization, and you have to be flexible, like those three things.
Mhm.
So,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah. And
Nicole, we have,
flexibility is like muscle. It's like, people say, "Oh, I don't do yoga because I'm not flexible." It's like, I don't lift weights because I don't have muscles. You have to build it. Your strength, you build strength with reps and you build muscles with your reps and your weights. And then in yoga, you build flexibility with every breath. Your breath is a rep to go deeper in your flexibility. So
right,
flexibility is a form of strength. You just have to build it like muscle.
for sure.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah.
Nicole, we always
Yeah.
like to end or include a call to action on the show. besides coming to your yoga class, is there any call to action or invitation to help others be the best versions of themselves that you feel like you want to say or give out?
Yeah. I think within the space you and I are both in Hunter of like doing the work, always trying to be your best self, always trying to go deeper, always trying. It's an end, you can always go deeper, right?
Mhm.
Just being okay with being okay today. You don't always have to do the work. And there's nothing to fix within you. You are everything right now and you deserve to lean into joy. You don't have to always be so disciplined. You don't always have to be down on yourself if things don't go the way you planned. And just know that you are enough right now. And I think when you have awareness and you keep doing the work, it's a beautiful practice. But if you don't stop and just enjoy that you are amazing as you are, then the work will never end and you'll never feel fixed or you'll never feel okay. So
Mhm.
nice affirmation, like I am enough right now. And that's cool, you know?
I love that. Yeah, that we all
Yeah.
have that potential and greatness inside of us. It's all within. And I love what you said. You said be okay with the okay. If
Yeah.
you don't get done, if you don't cross the entire to-do list off, there's no problem. You can put it for tomorrow. Just
Hmm.
brain off and be present. But
Yeah.
well, thank you so much for hopping on. It's been a pleasure to have you. And everybody
Yeah.
listening, I'm gonna put your Instagram, TikTok, everything in this subscription. Please follow Nicole. She's awesome. And I hope everybody can be the best version of themselves every single day. And Nicole, thanks again.
Thank you so much, Hunter. You rock. I appreciate your time.
Yeah.